Hello, everyone. Welcome in today. Today, we will be grading the drafts of the AFC West. I think this is a strong division, so I'm really excited to see how they did. And let's get into this one. We're going to start it off with the Los Angeles Chargers. And at number 5, they took Joe Alt, who was a fantastic pick, if you ask me. I would have loved to see Harbaugh go out and pick a receiver, but we all know that that's not how Harbaugh is going to work. And Joe Alt's a fantastic pick. We'll see if he's able to play right tackle, because I don't expect him to move Slater over to the right side. Although to me, it would make sense to do that. I would rather have Alt on the blind side. But Slater's already proven, so it makes sense to leave him there. Round 2, they trade up to get Lad McConkey. Great pick, but my concerns with McConkey remain that I don't know he's going to be a 17-game player. I think he's going to be more of a 15-game player at best, which is that worth it? I don't know. You have to be able to answer that question. He's a fantastic prospect, though. I have no questions about his ability out there. I think he can stand up and he can play in the league. It's just whether he can stay healthy, and that's what scares me away. They got Junior Colson in round 3, my top linebacker. I don't understand how he fell to the 3rd round. I love this selection. Great pick. The Chargers did really well in this one. He's going to be able to walk in already knowing that defense, wear the green dot, call the plays, and know more than the veterans. I think this is a fantastic pick that'll really help the Chargers and work out for them. Round 4, they ended up picking Justin Ibogi. I don't know how to say that name, truthfully. I can't remember, but he's out of Alabama. Honestly, I watched him late in the process. I only watched one game, so I can't give an informed opinion, but it was a pretty well-liked pick by a lot of people. And then in round 5, they took Tareeb Still, a DB out of Maryland. I haven't watched him yet. I'm not going to lie to you. And then Cam Hart, a DB out of Notre Dame. I also did not get to his, but a lot of people liked him. In round 6, they took Kamani Vidal out of Troy, a running back. I didn't get to watch him either, so I'm not going to lie to you and try to give you some information that I don't know. Now in round 7, they did take Brendan Rice, and I actually like this pick. I had him graded out as like a 5th round player. He does have limitations, but I think he's going to be a useful player in this league. He's going to be like a 4 or a 5 probably, but I really like the pick, and I think they got excellent value in the 7th round. Their last pick, Cornelius Johnson, good pick out of Michigan. I think, Harbaugh bringing in a guy he knows and a guy that'll be able to contribute for him makes sense. He's going to be down the depth chart, maybe develop. They had to take a couple swings at receiver, and why not go with a guy you know? Overall, this draft is a solid A. I can't complain about it. My questions about McConkey aren't about ability, so I didn't want to bring the grade down too much. I will say, as a Patriots fan and a Bucs fan, I'm happy to see that both of those teams passed on McConkey, because I could see him being a frustrating player that you love when he's out there. It's just, is he ever going to be out there? Next up, we're going to have the Las Vegas Raiders, and I really was hoping they'd get a quarterback and Michael Penix would go there, but you know how that went, so he obviously didn't fall to him. They decided to take Brock Bowers in round 1. Good pick, solid player. I just worry. Tight ends do not produce early in their careers, and I think Bowers could maybe break the mold, but it scares the heck out of me. So until I know for sure if Bowers is going to be able to produce, I'm going to be worried, but that's a solid pick. You got to take a swing on a guy who is easily a top 10 talent in this draft. In round 2, they got Jackson Powers Johnson. Love the pick. They're going to play him at guard instead of center. Makes sense. He's big enough to, strong enough to. I think he would make a really good center, but we'll see how that works out. I love the pick. Round 3 is DJ Glaze out of Maryland. Honestly, I didn't watch any Maryland players, so I don't know anything about him. I'm not going to lie to you. They thought it was a bit of a reach, though, from what I heard, so we're going to factor that in. In round 4, they got Dicamian Richardson, a DB out of Mississippi State. I did watch him, and he's a good prospect. I think he is somebody that makes sense to take in round 4, and I think they took him right about the right range. Round 5, they got Tommy Eichenberg, the linebacker out of Ohio State. He kind of reminds me of Jeremiah Trotter Jr., where, he's a good player. He's going to, I think, be able to walk into the league, play Mike linebacker, but he's probably going to struggle in coverage. He's not the most athletic guy in the world. I do think, though, you're going to get a solid 2-down player. In round 5, that's okay. I have no problem with taking that swing, and I think it was a good pick. Dylan Laub in round 6. I didn't get to watch his tape, but from everything I heard about him, really interesting prospect, and I'd like to see how they're going to utilize him. And if they use him right, he could be like a Christian McCaffrey, but, of course, the light version, not as good. But he could be the light version of Christian McCaffrey, and he could really dice teams up from multiple positions on the field. Round 7, they got Trey Taylor. Him coming out of Air Force is really interesting. I'll admit I didn't get to him, and I wish I would have. People love this pick and say that if he didn't go to Air Force, he would definitely go sooner. So, obviously, if that's the case, it was a great steal. I didn't watch him just because I assumed teams would avoid him, and they did until the 7th round. They got MJ Devonshire later in the draft. I didn't watch a whole lot of his film. I think I seen him play in one game, and he didn't really do anything, which for a corner is probably a good thing that his name wasn't called much, but that's really all I can say on him. Overall, this is a good draft. I think they made the right decisions here, and I'm going to give it an A minus as well. I think NFL Network got this one right. Next up, we have the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Round one, they traded up for Xavier Worthy. I got to admit, I don't love this pick. There's something about Worthy that just scares me, and I think that we're going to look back, and he's going to end up being like John Ross, where we got too caught up with the speed. I don't think his hands are consistent enough. I don't know that his route running's consistent enough. I had him graded way down. He was outside of my top 50. He was at like 55, 54 or something. I'd have to pull up the document, but he was down the list. I wouldn't have traded up for him, and I definitely wouldn't have taken him in round one. Round two, they did get Kingsley Suamataia, the offensive tackle out of BYU. Developmental player that I think is a fantastic choice for the Chiefs. Right decision. Hopefully they don't stick him out there right away and give him time, but I think he could be a great player for him. I like the pick of Jared Wiley in round four, tight end out of TCU. He's an athletic guy who is like Theo Johnson, but I think he's a little looser, so he has a little more agility, and I think this is a proper pick that's going to work out for the Chiefs to replace Travis Kelce in the long haul. Round five, they got Hunter Norvestad, the center out of Penn State. He was really well liked, and I watched him. He seemed like he was good. I think this is probably the right range for him. Some guys had him a little bit higher than this, so overall can't complain. Round six, they got Kamal Haddon, the DB out of Tennessee, and I think that was a solid pick. I actually had him rated a little bit higher than this. I thought he'd go like fourth round, so I can't complain. That's a great pick again by the Super Bowl champs. It's irritating to see him do the right things and just do well. But in round seven, they took CJ Hansen. I didn't get to watch him out of Holy Cross, but I hope he succeeds, and things work out for him, because I'm from right around where Holy Cross is in Massachusetts initially, so I always pull for anybody that's a Crusader, and I hope that this works out for him. Overall, though, I don't love the trade for Xavier Worthy in round one, and although I do like the rest of their picks, I also missed Jaden Hicks in there. Hicks was a great pick. He fell, and I don't see why he fell to round four. Fantastic picks for the Chiefs. He's going to be a good safety. I thought that him dropping this low is honestly a little bit criminal. He should have been a day two pick. No question about it. I had no idea that he would drop this far. So really good pick there. But even though I don't like the Worthy pick, I'm going to actually stick at a B+ for the Chiefs. I think the NFL Network got this one right, surprisingly. Next up, you have the Denver Broncos. They were painted into a corner here. Bo Nix was the last quarterback, and they took him. I don't know that they would have taken him anyway. Some people would have you believe they would. I think that Penix probably would have been the pick had he been there. He just has more upside, in my opinion. They can sell you Bo Nix all they want, but I don't see it. I don't love this pick. I'm not going to lie to you. Round three, they got Jonah Ellis. Love that selection. I thought he was a mid-round two pick, and I love this. Getting him in the third round, great value for the Broncos. Round four, Troy Franklin. Once again, great value. He was a player that I wasn't sure how to rate, because being so new to the scouting world and actually putting this out here, and although I've done it behind the scenes and looked at players, this is my first time really putting it out there and really putting in a lot of work on them. I do still factor in what other people think a little bit to my final grades, to help me see if what I'm seeing is right. Now, I'll go out on my own on occasion, but a guy like him where I really just didn't know how to read it, a lot of people had him rated higher than round four, and I don't know why he fell to round four. I thought he was a round two pick, but there was people that had him in round one, there was people that said round three, but I was like, round two makes sense for this guy, even without everything else. I don't think he had a great route tree at Oregon. I don't think anybody coming out of Oregon does, so he's going to require development. I think he's long and thin, and that's worrisome for the NFL. But falling to the fourth round doesn't make sense to me. They got a great slot corner in Chris Abrams-Drain in the fifth round. I like that selection out of Missouri. Him and Rakestraw were both really good. I think Drain has a lot of upside in the slot, and I think it's a fantastic pick. Then they got Audric Estime, the running back out of Notre Dame. I really like this selection, and I think Estime is going to be a good pounding back in the NFL. He's going to be a thumper. I do think that this pick will end up working out for him, and he's going to get carries and be able to make plays. Round seven, they got Devon Vele out of Utah. Good receiver. Last year, he struggled with the lack of quarterback play around him, but I think he was really good. I watched some Utes football, and I really did like him. I thought he was good, and I think that round seven is probably the right area. I might have bumped him up around and said maybe round six, but this is the right range for him. I didn't watch the last guy on this list out of South Carolina. Didn't have time to get to him. So overall, my grade for the Broncos, even though I like their picks outside of Bo Nix, I'm going to be a little bit harder because Bo Nix at 12 is just way too rich for me. I've got to go in and knock this to a C. I'll be nice and go C+ just because I like a lot of their later picks, but C+ is all I can give the Broncos. So let me know what you guys think of my draft grades for the AFC West. Leave any comments down below. Give me your grades down below. I want to know what you guys are thinking. as well and see if they compare to mine. If you agree with the NFL Network, just let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know what you think of any of the prospects that we're taking here. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm LDJ11. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll be back with more soon. I'm out.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar.